Independence Day, also commonly known as the 4th of July, is a federal holiday in the United States of America commemorating the adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4, 1776, declaring independence from Great Britain. Independence Day is commonly associated with fireworks, parades, barbecues, carnivals, fairs, picnics, concerts, baseball games, family reunions, and political speeches and ceremonies, in addition to various other public and private events celebrating the history, government, and traditions of the United States. Independence Day is the National Day of the United States. Background: during the American Revolution, the legal separation of the 13 colonies from Great Britain occurred on July 2, 1776, when the Second Continental Congress voted to approve a resolution of independence that had been proposed in June by Richard Henry Lee of Virginia declaring the United States independent from Great Britain. After voting for independence, Congress turned its attention to the Declaration of Independence, a statement explaining this decision, which had been prepared by a committee of 5, with Thomas Jefferson as its principal author. Congress debated and revised the wording of the Declaration, finally approving it on July 4. A day earlier, John Adams had written to his wife Abigail. The second day of July, 1776, will be the most memorable epoch in the history of America. I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be commemorated as the Day of Deliverance, by solemn acts of devotion to God Almighty. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations, from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore. Adams's prediction was off by 2 days. From the outset, Americans celebrated independence on July 4, the date shown on the much-publicized Declaration of Independence, rather than on July 2, the date the Resolution of Independence was approved in a closed session of Congress. Historians have long disputed whether Congress actually signed the Declaration of Independence on July 4, even though Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Benjamin Franklin all later wrote that they had signed it on that day. Most historians have concluded that the Declaration was signed nearly a month after its adoption, on August 2, 1776, and not on July 4 as is commonly believed. Coincidentally, both John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, the only signers of the Declaration of Independence later to serve as presidents of the United States, died on the same day, July 4, 1826, which was the 50th anniversary of the Declaration. Although not a signer of the Declaration of Independence, but another founding father who became a president, James Monroe, died on July 4, 1831, thus becoming the third president in a row who died on the holiday. Calvin Coolidge, the 30th president, was born on July 4, 1872, and, so far, is the only U.S. president to have been born on Independence Day. Observance: in 1777, 13 gunshots were fired in salute, once at morning and once again as evening fell, on July 4 in Bristol, Rhode Island. Philadelphia celebrated the first anniversary in a manner a modern American would find quite familiar, an official dinner for the Continental Congress, toasts, 13 gun salutes, speeches, prayers, music, parades, troop reviews, and fireworks. Ships were decked with red, white, and blue bunting. In 1778, General George Washington marked July 4 with a double ration of rum for his soldiers and an artillery salute. Across the Atlantic Ocean, Ambassadors John Adams and Benjamin Franklin held a dinner for their fellow Americans in Paris, France. In 1779, July 4 fell on a Sunday. The holiday was celebrated on Monday, July 5. In 1781 the Massachusetts General Court became the first state legislature to recognize July 4 as a state celebration. In 1783, Moravians in Salem, North Carolina, held a celebration of July 4 with a challenging music program assembled by Johann Friedrich Peter. This work was titled The Psalm of Joy. This is recognized as the first recorded celebration and is still celebrated there today. In 1791 the first recorded use of the name Independence Day occurred. In 1870, the U.S. Congress made Independence Day an unpaid holiday for federal employees. In 1938, Congress changed Independence Day to a paid federal holiday. Customs. Independence Day is a national holiday marked by patriotic displays. Similar to other summer-themed events, Independence Day celebrations often take place outdoors. Independence Day is a federal holiday, so all non-essential federal institutions are closed on that day. Many politicians make it a point on this day to appear at a public event to praise the nation's heritage, laws, history, society, and people. Families often celebrate Independence Day by hosting or attending a picnic or barbecue and take advantage of the day off and, in some years, long weekend to gather with relatives. Decorations are generally colored red, white, and blue, the colors of the American flag. Parades are often in the morning, while fireworks displays occur in the evening at such places as parks, fairgrounds, or town squares. The night before the 4th was once the focal point of celebrations, marked by raucous gatherings often incorporating bonfires as their centerpiece. In New England, towns competed to build towering pyramids, assembled from hogsheads and barrels and casks. They were lit at nightfall, to usher in the celebration. The highest were in Salem, Massachusetts, composed of as many as 40 tiers of barrels. These are the tallest bonfires ever recorded. The custom flourished in the 19th and 20th centuries, and is still practiced in some New England towns. Independence Day fireworks are often accompanied by patriotic songs such as the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, God Bless America, America the Beautiful, My Country, 'Tis of Thee, This Land is Your Land, Stars and Stripes Forever, and, regionally, Yankee Doodle in northeastern states and Dixie in southern states. Some of the lyrics recall images of the Revolutionary War or the War of 1812. Fireworks shows are held in many states, and many fireworks are sold for personal use or as an alternative to a public show. Safety concerns have led some states to ban fireworks or limit the sizes and types allowed. Illicit traffic transfers many fireworks from less restrictive states. A salute of one gun for each state in the United States, called a salute to the Union, is fired on Independence Day at noon by any capable military base. In 2009, New York City had the largest fireworks display in the country, with over 22 tons of pyrotechnics exploded. Other major displays are in Chicago on Lake Michigan, in San Diego over Mission Bay, in Boston on the Charles River, in St. Louis on the Mississippi River, in San Francisco over the San Francisco Bay, and on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., during the annual Windsor-Detroit International Freedom Festival. Detroit, Michigan hosts one of the world's largest fireworks displays, over the Detroit River, to celebrate Independence Day in conjunction with Windsor, Ontario's celebration of Canada Day. While the official observance always falls on July 4th, participation levels may vary according to which day of the week the 4th falls on. If the holiday falls in the middle of the week, some fireworks displays and celebrations may take place during the weekend for convenience, again, varying by region. The first week of July is typically one of the busiest American travel periods of the year, as many people utilize the holiday for extended vacation trips. Celebration Gallery. Unique or historical celebrations. Held since 1785, the Bristol 4th of July Parade in Bristol, Rhode Island is the oldest continuous Independence Day celebration in the United States. Since 1868, Seward, Nebraska has held a celebration on the same town square. In 1979 Seward was designated a OE America's official 4th of July city small-town use by resolution of Congress. Seward has also been proclaimed Nebraska's official 4th of July site by Governor James Exon in proclamation. Seward is a town of 6,000 but swells to 40,000 plus during the July 4th celebrations. Since 1912, the Rebild Society, a Danish-American friendship organization, has held a July 4th weekend festival that serves as a homecoming for Danish Americans in the Rebild municipality of Denmark. Since 1972, Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest has been held in Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York City. Since 1959, the International Freedom Festival is jointly held in Detroit, Michigan and Windsor, Ontario during the last week of June each year as a mutual celebration of Independence Day and Canada Day. It culminates in a large fireworks display over the Detroit River. Numerous major and minor league baseball games are played on Independence Day. The famous Macy's fireworks display, usually held over the East River in New York City, has been televised nationwide on NBC since 1976. In 2009, the fireworks display was returned to the Hudson River for the first time since 2000 to commemorate the 400th anniversary of Henry Hudson's exploration of that river. Since 1970, the annual 10-kilometer Peachtree Road Race is held in Atlanta, Georgia. The Boston Pops Orchestra has hosted a music and fireworks show over the Charles River Esplanade called the Boston Pops Fireworks Spectacular annually since 1973. The event was broadcast nationally from 1987 until 2002 on A&E, and from 2003 until 2012 on CBS. In 2013, CBS dropped the Pops broadcast, with no reason given. However, executive producer David G. Muger believed that an encore presentation of the Macy's fireworks on NBC aired at 10 p.m. Eastern Time PT was successfully counter-programming the Boston Pops, since the broadcast lost as much as 20% of his audience in 2012 in comparison to 2011. As it did prior to the cancellation, the full concert continues to air locally by Boston's CBS affiliate WBZ-TV. On the Capitol lawn in Washington, D.C., a Capitol 4th, a free concert broadcast live by PBS, NPR and the American Forces Network, precedes the fireworks and attracts over 500,000 people annually. Other countries, the Philippines celebrates July 4th as its Republic Day to commemorate that day in 1946 when it ceased to be a U.S. territory and the United States officially recognized Philippine independence. July 4th was intentionally chosen by the United States because it corresponds to its Independence Day, and this day was observed in the Philippines as Independence Day until 1962. In 1964, the name of the July 4th holiday was changed to Republic Day. In Rwanda, July 4th is an official holiday known as Liberation Day, commemorating the end of the 1994 Rwandan genocide in which the U.S. government also played a role. Denmark also celebrates American independence on the 4th of July. National parks in Denmark are said to hold the largest July 4th celebrations outside of the United States. See also 1776, Constitution Day, to the 4th of July, references. Bibliography, Becker, Carl L. The Declaration of Independence, A Study in the History of Political Ideas. New York, Harcourt, Brace. ISBN A0-394-70060-0. Retrieved June 28, 2009. Hintz, James R. 4th of July Celebrations Database. American University of Washington, D.C. Retrieved July 4, 2007. External links, 4th of July is Independence Day USA.gov, July 4, 2014. U.S. Independence Day, a civic and social event. U.S. State Department, June 22, 2010, The Meaning of July 4th for the Negro by Frederick Douglass, 4th of July Orations Collection at the Division of Special Collections, Archives, and Rare Books, Ellis Library, University of Missouri, the 4th of July, Back in the Day, a Euro slideshow by Life magazine.